Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth is provided by Cashfly at CACHEFLY.com. This is TWiT Photo with Catherine Hall and Leo Laporte. Episode 30, recorded October 25th, 2011. Jeremy Cowart. TWiT Photo is brought to you by Ford, featuring Wi-Fi connectivity with available sync and My Ford Touch. Now your car can be a Wi-Fi hotspot. Check it out in the new 2012 Ford Focus and at Ford.com/technology. And by Netflix. Watch thousands of TV episodes and movies on your PC, Mac, iPad, iPhone, or TV instantly. All streamed directly to you, saving you time, money, and hassle. For your free 30-day trial, visit Netflix.com/twit. It's time for TWiT Photo. Catherine Hall is here. I am here. And some great photographer that I don't know yet is here. Hi, Catherine.
Hey, Leo.
You look great in red, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So who are we talking to?
Who do we have today?
Yes.
Well, I'm so excited to have Jeremy Cowart with us today. We've had I think you're actually one of our most requested
I know
guests.
that name, yeah. Hi, Jeremy.
So many people wanted you to come in. A lot of people know you for your celebrity portraiture that you do, and then he also founded Help Portrait, which we will talk about further in the episode. But it's a great honor to have you with us today. Thank you for joining.
No, the pleasure is mine, and I really apologize to everybody watching for the delays. Those are my fault. So sorry.
No problem at all. We're just glad to get you. We want to make sure everybody can hear you fine. We're having little Skype issues, but I think we'll be able to muddle our way through it.
Great.
So celebrities, huh? Like big names? Like who's your favorite celebrity?
Leo's going like this.
Yeah, my favorite celebrity. Let's see. Touring with Britney Spears was definitely interesting.
Wow.
I did that for 3 months.
Wow.
I've worked with. I think my favorites would probably be Sting. I'm a huge Sting fan.
Yeah.
There's a musician named Imogen Heap who I'm a huge fan of. She was amazing.
Yeah. So do you typically go on the road with these guys?
No, I mean I typically the only tour I really did was with Britney Spears, but typically it's just normal photo shoots, you know, 1-day shoot or 2-day shoot.
Yeah, because that's 3 months out of your life.
I know. So how was that? How was that experience, and why did you go on tour versus doing the typical photo shoot?
It was right when the economy crashed. It was just good timing. There wasn't a lot else going on. Everybody was closing down their budgets, and so it was a good time for me to go out and try the tour thing. But yeah, I definitely won't be doing it again. I'm a dad, and I've got kids, and I don't want to be traveling like that. So
yeah,
but it's a good story.
Do you have to fight the paparazzi off when you're on the Britney Spears tour? Like, get out of my way! I'm the real photographer here.
Yeah, there were definitely a few times on that tour where I got to see that whole world up close and personal, and I have no desire to ever be a paparazzi. I can tell you that much.
It's a certain kind of person, I guess, who although I bet it's fun when you're not getting beat up or
you have to be quite aggressive.
waiting on the street for hours on end. Yeah. So
how much interaction do you actually have with the musician when you're on tour? Is it more behind the scenes stuff, concert stuff, or are you actually with her a lot? How does that work for concert photographers?
You're with them a lot. It depends on the tour. I mean, hers was obviously very grand scale. You know, 20 tour buses, 30 trucks of gear. So it was a big deal. But let's move on.
Okay.
Enough about Britney.
Enough about Britney.
What about Jeremy Cowart? But you don't just do celebrities.
Yeah. No, I do a lot of humanitarian stuff, and you know, I've worked a lot in Haiti and Africa. That's neat. And I'm developing iPhone apps. I'm very ADD. I've been doing illustration videos, all kinds of stuff. I just like to say that I create, and photography has been my current tool, but it's certainly not the only tool I enjoy using. So.
I think one of the reasons you were so hotly demanded is because you're very active on social media. Your Twitter account, you use that very effectively.
Well, thank you. I just enjoy people. I mean, somebody asked me that they said, your clients aren't on Twitter, so why do you engage so much? And I said, well, I like people a lot more than I do the next job. So I think it comes down to that.
That's interesting. So you're not doing it just for marketing. You're doing it because you like it.
Yeah, I do it because I like it. I think we all have a desire to be connected and to talk with each other, and I enjoy that too. So,
what's your social media outlet of choice?
Well, Twitter and Google Plus. I've become a big Google Plus fan. It's really a great platform for photographers, especially. So I've enjoyed getting to know that a good bit lately.
Yeah, yeah. Google Plus is better for the images anyway. And boy, there's sure a lot of photographers on.
I love Google Plus.
Yeah,
you know that.
Yeah,
you know that about me. So Jeremy, you've been doing photography for 6 years. How did you launch into doing these big celebrities? You have big client names, magazines. How did you get into it so quickly?
Well, I beat another photographer out of LA for a job, and the agent that represented that photography called me and said, "Hey, I represent LA photographers. Would love to represent you." We signed a contract shortly thereafter, and the next thing I knew, I was shooting big TV campaigns and celebrities, and so.
So it's just luck. What were you doing before that 6 years ago?
I was a graphic designer as well as a web designer.
So do you think that helped your photography, that you were already an artist?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I was a painter, and I loved art in general. Then I became a designer when my parents were afraid I couldn't make a living.
Yeah.
And so you know, yeah, I think composition. When I look through the viewfinder, I feel like I'm a graphic designer. I mean, it's still color, composition, angles, all that good stuff. So
your work has a lot of illustration often done to it. Are you doing that, or do you have retouchers that are doing that?
In terms of the illustration, that's all me. I enjoy the textural components and the actual illustrating. Sometimes I do hire retouchers for skin. Skin is definitely not my thing that I enjoy doing because it's so it takes so long. But yeah, for the most part, I do a lot of the retouching.
I love that shot. Look at that. That's so cool.
Now, with the illustrative work, do you know what the final product's going to look like before you shoot it, or are you kind of organically going with it?
I just kind of go. I never know. I mean, I remember seeing a poster when I was a kid that said half of art is knowing where to start, and the other half is knowing when to stop. You know, and I think that's true. That's true for me.
For all
oh my gosh!
Writing,
yeah.
Singing. I know to start and then stop immediately. Yeah, things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You like portraiture, though. I have to say, it's pretty clear that portraits are a thing you like to do.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to that same love of people and connecting with people, whether they be in Haiti or on a celebrity shoot. You know.
So going off of that. How are you? Do you feel that you act differently in either situation? And how are you communicating? What's your rapport with a celebrity shoot versus, hey, I'm in Haiti and I'm, shooting in a hut?
As far as I'm concerned, I don't change. I mean, I treat everybody just like I would a friend and try to get them to open up to the camera. But the circumstances around me are always changing. On a celebrity shoot, you've got, 40 people, all handlers and publicists and managers and agents and all that stuff.
Kristen's skirt is just a little short here. Could we just, wait a minute, Jeremy, could we just stop for a second? That leaf seems to be covering the shoe. This is a great shot.
Yeah, and actually with that, Leo, like how much are you restricted in those situations? Do you feel creatively, because of the teams, the art directors, the stylists, how much control do you have?
You must want to just clear the studio sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, but I've gotten pretty used to it. I mean, I really, really enjoy a good challenge, and those shoots are a good challenge because you've got 15 people standing around you around the monitor telling you what sucks and why it doesn't work, and they're seeing the bad exposures, they're seeing the test shots, they're seeing all the nitty gritty. So
now, for instance, this Kristen Chenoweth, is this outside studio? Did they come to you and say, we want to put her on an ivy wall?
No, they just said we want to do a shoot. It was up to me to find the location and do all the conceptual work. So we just found, this is for a country record, and so I was in Nashville at the time, and I just found an amazing location for her. And we just went around and I chose the spots and lit it, and we made it happen.
I love it. And so when you're doing an album cover like this, you're thinking album cover, right?
Yes, which is hard because you're shooting a rectangle, but you know that it's going to end up square. So this particular this particular shot, I mean, I knew a lot would also be used for publicity.
Right.
And so I have to think in terms of both aspect ratios.
It's helpful that you were a graphic designer, too, because you know about text and all that.
Yeah, well, and when I was a graphic designer, I was designing album covers, so it especially works.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
How about engagement? You know, I know a lot of times celebrities, it's not a big exciting thing to go get a shoot done. They're kind of over it before it starts.
Yeah.
How do you get your subjects engaged and excited about the shoot, even though it's just another shoot in their mind when they might be walking in the door and they may think that way?
Yeah, I often compare photo shoots to getting, dental work. They usually hate it.
Oh no, that's even worse than I thought.
Yeah, it's awkward. It's another day in their busy lives, and so I try to just, I remember doing a shoot with Carrie Underwood, and I can tell that she was just on autopilot. So during middle of the shoot, I just took her on a walk. We went just on a walk for about 30 minutes and just got to know each other, and that really changed the rest of the shoot because she looked at me as a friend from that point and not just another photographer.
And how do you get an original shot of the Kardashians? I mean, really?
You put Kim on the side.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That's a good call. No, this was actually, I shot this on the very first episode of their first season. So at this point, they weren't the Kardashians. Nobody knew who they were.
Oh, they weren't jaded
yet.
Good.
Yeah, they weren't jaded yet, exactly. And we actually replaced the background of this one. This was shot at their house. And the background was very pleasing. So we took the background out and made it very Los Angeles.
I love it.
Got it. Yeah, and then just kind of going off what we were talking about before, if it's just not working, and you say you took Carrie Underwood for a walk, what are other things that you might do if you feel like your subject's just not engaged?
Yeah, I mean it's always the challenge. There's no doubt about it. I remember one time I recently did a shoot with Scott Kelby for his classes, and we had a Chuck Norris book, and I had one of my assistants over to the side reading all these Chuck Norris jokes because the manager wanted the band laughing, and I'm not like a monkey. I can't just stand there and be funny. And so we brought this.
Leo can do it. Yeah. Just bring Leo along.
No, the Chuck Norris jokes are good. You can't not laugh, and that's what's good about them. So this is an example of an illustrative picture. This is that Carrie Underwood?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. That's Taylor Swift.
Oh, of course, Taylor Swift. So. I mean, it's not obviously illustrative, but I think those butterflies weren't really there, and I can see the glitter on her dress and her jewelry. And who knows if is she really in Holland? I doubt it.
Yeah, so this was actually shot backstage in about 5 minutes at the CMT Awards years ago.
You're kidding.
No, this was just this was before she was Taylor Swift. I just had a few minutes with all the talent backstage, and my friend Brad Davis did the retouching on this one. He did a really great job.
Yeah, it's a wonderful picture, too. And the spirit that she has looking over her shoulder. Did you tell her, turn around and then look back at me? Or was she running away?
Yeah. I mean, I literally had 5 to 10 minutes with her on this shoot. So I just, I got her and just said, keep changing up, keep mixing up, fidget, dance around, just was kind of directing her as we went.
Yeah, she's young and she wasn't a star yet. And so that really is an opportunity to get somebody fresh and excited. And
so what are some of the things that you say? So you have 10 minutes. What do you tell the model to do?
Gosh, I feel like it's different every time. But, and it depends on the talent. When it's a big celebrity, I mean, usually they just walk in. They know what to do. You don't have to tell them anything.
Right. And
like I said earlier, they do this almost daily. So sometimes you get lucky and you don't have to do any directing. That was one of my favorites you just passed by.
This is
I know.
Great.
This image is incredible. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, that was just a personal shoot I did. But, sometimes it's hard to put your thumb on why you love something so much. But obviously her head echoing the trees behind her, it's a very dark, kind of dreary image. And I'm more drawn to things that are a little bit more twisted, I guess you could say.
This is a very Southern California image, though, too, isn't it? I mean, the empty swimming pool, the palm trees. It's almost a commentary on Hollywood after the glitter is gone.
Yeah. So, did you see the mimic of the palm trees while you were actually composing it, or is that something that you did naturally and you noticed it later?
No, this was definitely something I saw beforehand. As soon as I got in the pool and I saw her standing there trying to model for me, I was like, ooh, no, 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 don't do that. Just stand to the side and put your head at the same angle as those trees behind you, and kind of directed her through it.
We don't want to see your face, honey. Let's see the hair. Let's see the hair.
Exactly.
Yeah. Don't tell her that, though. Wait till the shoot's over before you tell her. And I love the dirty pool water. Oh, what a great shot.
I know, the dirty. It is.
The contrast between the bright sun on her and the darkness of the trees and the pool water. It's really great. Do you shoot, what do you shoot, a Canon?
Yeah, I shoot a Canon 5D Mark II. You know, got all my favorite lenses, the 24-70. 16 to 35, 70 to 100, and of course the 50 millimeter 1.2. So those are my go-tos.
There you go.
My lens, baby.
So someone said you shoot in JPEG. Is that true?
No, definitely not.
There's only one person crazy enough to shoot in JPEG.
Tamerlaki shoots in JPEG.
Yeah.
You know, somebody wrote he shoots in I heard he shoots in JPEG with on-camera flash. I'm like, I know the on-camera flash is not right.
Somebody's messing
with me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
with
real.
me.
There's another great Kristen Chenoweth.
And I gave him the satisfaction of actually asking the question.
Now tell us about Haiti. Boy, I mean, you couldn't get get two more different shots.
Oh yeah, I know. I love that.
Right? Yeah.
You're not complex enough for us, Jeremy.
Yeah, there's something about the contrast in doing celebrity shoots and then going and doing, you know, humanitarian work that really fires me up. You know, I love the contrast. And this is a project I did just days after the earthquake. And when I was watching CNN and seeing all the reports, and I hated what I was seeing because all the reports were saying, look at all the dead bodies, look at the crumbled buildings. I wanted to go there and ask the people themselves, what do you have to say about all this? And I would find whatever closest rubble was around me and just have them write on it. I took down a bunch of art supplies and just let them express themselves through art, and it was really powerful. I mean, this was when people were still searching for dead bodies. You know, I mean, it was pretty crazy. There were fires all around us. It was mass chaos, pretty much.
I like it that the kid has his bike. It's an interesting contrast between the devastation and the kid and his toy. And then you had them write on this, as you said, on these pieces of cardboard. What is he saying here?
Well, as he was writing, an adult came up to me and said, "What are you doing? This kid has nothing to say. Children are, you know, basically saying this kid was stupid." And the kid said, immediately just stood up after he had written this down, and it says, "I hope this never happens again. Too many people died."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow, that is an amazing image.
Well,
and do you speak Spanish?
French.
Yes,
French. Yeah,
Creole.
Excuse me. Wow.
Well, that's the thing. You know, I
see
speak
espere.
Yeah, I speak enough French to know that is Creole because some of it I can understand, but a lot of it is different. Yeah.
So, do you speak French?
No, absolutely not. I had translators on this project.
Yeah, translators.
Yeah.
Bridalplasty.
And then we go. Yeah, I know.
love the rain. You just, you know, after you go somewhere like Haiti and you see the poverty and the suffering and all that, don't you cringe a little bit when you get an assignment like this?
Absolutely. I mean, I definitely. It's definitely hard. It's definitely hard, especially like when I'm in Haiti and I'm reading Twitter and reading, you know, some of the silly things we talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, then to go on a shoot where it's all about plastic surgery, it's definitely a trip.
It's pretty stark. This is a neat image. So this is heavily illustrated. This is your graphic. This is your painter coming out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I would love, I don't know if we could do it now or later, but I would love to show the video of how this was made. You have it there.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I do have the video.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And what percentage of your work are you doing this more heavy illustrated versus straight photography?
Go back. This isn't the right video.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It looked like it was the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, this one. There we go. There we go. There we go.
The color palette. You like those warm colors, don't you, Jeremy?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I love it that you are showing us your process like this.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So the first time I ever did this was for a portrait of Tom York, and I was curious. I just thought, what if I Googled Tom York and found all these pictures of him on the internet, and then drew it, and then combined it in Photoshop. And so this was the second one I did. This was right at Easter, and I love art history and all the traditional portraits of Christ. And so I just had this idea to create the portrait of Christ using the faces of everyday people. So I started out with the sketch here, and then in a minute you'll see it all go into Photoshop, and you'll see me dropping in people's faces over the illustration. And feel free to fast forward a little bit.
This is like one of the Eastern European iconography, very two-dimensional.
He said he doesn't identify himself as a quote-unquote photographer, so this just shows that. So you really think of yourself as an artist first and foremost, and then whatever tools you're using at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I just, painting, graphic design, web design. I'm getting into some videos, directing, trying to develop some iPhone apps. I'm doing the Help Portrait. We're running our nonprofit, so I just enjoy art. It doesn't matter what tool. And I'm not saying I'm good at it all. I'm just saying I enjoy trying it all.
And how, if you were to give advice to other photographers out there that may have other artistic interests, what are ways that you merge them? I mean, it's kind of, we all have, for example, I love singing, and you seem to seamlessly be able to bring together the different types of art. How do you do that? And how do you think, what's some advice you could give to other people?
Well, I think these days we kind of have to be multidimensional. I mean, photography, is an awesome industry, but it's also kind of scary. There's a lot of clients disappearing, a lot of budget shrinking, and meanwhile, thousands of more photographers are coming along. And so I'm exploring. I feel like we're in the wild, wild west right now, and I'm just I'm out there trying to be on the front, exploring what else can be done.
Well, this is a great example because so many people do have digital cameras now. There's so many amateurs taking pictures. This is taking it very much to the next level, and it's really interesting to see the combination of the layers of photo with the drawing.
Yeah, how did you come up with this concept, and sort of what was your thought process throughout this?
Well, again, the first one I did was the Tom York video, and it's, I mean, we all have ideas, and sometimes we don't know how they hit us, but it's one of those, like, you can't sleep, and all of a sudden I was like, ooh, what if I did a sketch and then combined it in Photoshop? And I love breaking rules, and all the things I'm doing here in this video are things you're not supposed to do in Photoshop. Like, for example, you're not supposed to use the magic wand tool.
I know, I'm laughing every time I see those marching ants pop up. It's great, but it's working.
Yeah, but in this context, it works, and I just love exploring those things that you're not supposed to do and trying to make it work.
We're talking to Jeremy Cowart. JeremyCowart.com, COWART.com is the web address. We're going to get his tips in just a little bit, a couple of favorite photos to talk about them. These videos are on Vimeo, but you can get it all at his website and watch the process. It's really, really interesting to watch how you put this together.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Boy, I want to find out more about helpportrait.com, and we'll do that in a second. Before we do, though, let's talk a little bit about our friends at Ford. Ford is a sponsor of the show. Isn't that nice? Don't we like that, Catherine?
We're so glad they're back.
We love them.
We missed them.
I drive a Mustang, as you know. I have for 2 years, and I had to laugh when the iPhone 4 came out with Siri, because I've been talking to my car for years, and I'm not nuts. It does what I say. For instance, with the Ford Sync, you can pick a song, make a call. You can say, where's the nearest gas station? You can say, how's the traffic up ahead? You could even say, set the temperature to 73 degrees. You don't have to take your hands off the wheel, your eyes at the road. The car responds to you. And now, with in the new 2012 Focus, with Sync and available My Ford Touch, you can actually plug in a USB key or the 3G key, and it turns it into a Wi-Fi access, a rolling Wi-Fi access spot. Up to 5 people in the car can get on, and they put the antennas actually in the body of the car. Really, the whole thing that's going on here with Ford, and it goes back to their CEO, Alan Mulally, who's an engineer, first and foremost, the guy who designed the 777 cockpit, is to take what has really just traditionally been a vehicle you get in and you go back to the 19th century or 20th century and you just drive, and to connect it back to our world, not only to the internet but to our phones, our MP3 players. All of the technology is summarized here at this website, Ford.com/.
So what do you do now that your car's out of date, Leo?
No, you can update it. You can even update it. You can download it, put it on a USB key, and update the car. It's great. I love it. But I do want the 20. You know why I want to go to electric? I want the 2012 Ford Focus electric. We're going to have a barbecue and show it off, and all the great new Ford vehicles coming up next month. Watch for details on that. Look at this, the inflatable rear safety belts. They have an airbag in the safety belt for kids. Isn't that awesome? It's little things like the capless fuel filter, the adaptive cruise control with collision warning, active park assist. There's so many neat things they're doing. And, of course, Wi-Fi in your car. Find out more by going to your Ford dealer. Take a look at the 2012 Ford Focus, or just visit Ford.com/technology. State-of-the-art technology in the best cars made in America. I'm very proud to say. It's a nice feeling.
And we also have a huge announcement, and we wanted to do it with you, Jeremy.
Oh, awesome. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, because, well, one of the things that I really like about Jeremy is he really, you'll see when we start talking about Help Portrait, but he really likes bringing photography to everyone. And so people can really experience and just revel in this craft and creating art and bringing exposure to other wise people that might not have it. So we are doing the same thing, Jeremy. We have launched what we call the TWiT Photo Guest Quest.
A search for the hottest
emerging photographer.
Don't you love that?
There you go.
It's live on my blog right now, katherinehall.net/blog, and directions are on there. But we're looking for an emerging photographer to spotlight.
So the official rules, we had to go through a lawyer and all of that stuff. And one of the things he said is, oh, you can only do this in the U.S. because the rules are different everywhere. I said, we're not going to do that, but we're going to trust the people are smart. We're going to say, void where prohibited. So if the laws in your country don't allow you to do this, and apparently there are some, you can't do it. But everybody else, go to the site, go to katherinehall.net, and take a look at the TWiT Photo Guest Quest. Or I see we have a bit.ly, bit.ly/TWiT Photo Guest Quest. And you can find out more. And somebody from our audience is going to be a guest on TWiT Photo. Will be featured on the show, on the TWiT blog, on your blog. We also have honorable mentions. But you have till November 22nd at midnight. And we'll announce a winner on December 6th. You're going to be gone next week.
Yes, I am.
Where are you going?
I'm going to speak at Photo Plus.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yes, we'll do that.
Derek Story and I will try to hold down the fort.
I know. I'm excited. Gone. It's going to be a good show.
I'm just going to ask Derek all the dumb questions I'm too embarrassed to ask in front of these great photographers. So, focus. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So, Jeremy, speaking of photographers and getting cameras in other people's hands, tell us about Help Portrait.
Yeah, Help Portrait is a global movement of photographers, using their cameras to get portraits to people in need. And in fact, this is really good timing because today we just announced that for the first time this year, we're going to be showing the photos of the people we shoot. In the past, we haven't done it out of respect for the people we shoot and just to not make it about photographers. And so, but people have responded to that. If y'all could click on blog up there.
Yeah, this is really, really neat. Now, is this so? Is it a benefit? How does this work?
Yeah, it's basically just free portraits for people. And let me pause there. We're not encouraging free photography. We're encouraging free photography only for people who have never had photography on their radar. People at homeless shelters, kids on their deathbed at a hospital, anyone who have never, ever would have been able to afford photography. And so these are portraits that you're looking at that I shot 2 days ago. And this year, for the very first time, we're showing the portraits. And not only that, but we're letting people tell their story on the actual picture.
I'm going to cry.
I know, isn't this amazing?
Yeah, read this, guys, real quick.
Oh, my God. My daughter has not seen me in 4 years. Now she will. Thank you, and God bless you, Robert. Oh, my God. Who would have thought? But, it seems like having a portrait is just, of course.
Yeah.
But of course, this is something so valuable. This is me and my daughter's first picture. I'll always remember this moment and cherish this beautiful picture forever and ever. I'm so blessed that it was captured. And what a beautiful picture. I mean, and I think for the photographer, Jeremy, I won't speak for you, but I bet you this is not only incredibly gratifying, but you get some great portraits.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this is the most gratifying thing I've ever done. I mean, I can't tell you how much fun it's been. I mean, I'm sure it's a little frustrating not to be able to share these, so it's nice that you can share them. God saved me from drugs. Look at that one. Wow.
Yeah, and let's go ahead.
The reason we're sharing them is we just realize that, if someone wants to share their story and share their picture, then why in the world would we not let them? So this year we're giving them the choice. If they want to keep things private, we'll let them keep it private. If they want to show it, by all means, let's let them show it. And so I'm excited that we're headed, and we literally just announced this morning. So this interview is really good timing.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
So, of course, a lot of these people are testifying their faith. which makes a lot of sense. Mighty Hawk, pro boxer. Look at that.
And they're also switching it up a little bit this year. This is actually one thing that I'm really excited about, Jeremy, is not only are the photographers going to be taking photos, but...
Yeah, we're just encouraging people to hand over the cameras, because I think it's...
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, I think it's really empowering for... Like 2 days ago, I met this guy who's homeless, and he said, "Oh, you've got a camera?" He said, "My whole life I wanted to be a photographer, and I used to have a camera, and I lost it, and due to my circumstances, you know, that's not something I could ever do." And I said, "Well, what if I at least gave you my camera today and let you shoot portraits?" And it was like Christmas morning for him. I mean, to give him that ability and let him experience the joy of professional equipment and getting good pictures of his friends. I mean, it was priceless.
Are most of these from rescue missions? Where do you go to get these homeless shelters?
Yeah, we say just in general people in need. I mean, this particular shoot you're looking at was just from the Union Rescue Mission here in Los Angeles. But on December 10th is our global photo shoot, and we'll be seeing thousands of pictures pour in from around the world. We already have people signed up in 45 countries at the moment, and that will continue to grow. And thanks to this interview, that will also help. I hope people, I mean, it's really a simple thing. You bring a printer, you find some people who could use some images, and you give them away, and it's really as simple as that.
So you take the picture and you print it right there on the spot?
Yeah. I had a Epson, one of Epson's new R3000 sitting right next to me, and after I'd print the portrait, I was shooting tethered, and so they could look on my laptop, see their images. They would pick their favorite one, and I would print about 5 8x10s right there on the spot. Oh,
that's so cool. 8x10s too. That's really neat.
Yeah, and we would keep one. We would keep one, and they would write on it, and then I would send the rest of them with them. And some people would say, "I'm going to send this to my mom," like you saw, who hasn't seen me in 4 years. Or I'm going, you know. And we've seen people walking 2 years down the street, 2 years later, still holding their portrait. I mean, it's pretty insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hi, I'm Stan, the man from Hurricane Katrina, New Orleans, Louisiana, ex-drug addict of 43 years. The hurricane changed my life. I'm now drug-free. Thanks to the Almighty God for saving my life. He brought me from New Orleans to Tucson to Los Angeles. Union Rescue Mission, where I finally found God, Stanley Barton. Wow. And look at this guy. I mean, look at that smile.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's a great portrait.
Well,
yeah, he was amazing.
The great thing about it, and one of the messages is anyone that's in need. So it doesn't have to be just the, you know, sources that you may automatically think
Shelters
of, like a homeless shelter. It could be your neighbor. It could be a grandma next door who may not have any children
I like this
nearby.
idea. You've got the camera, you're a photographer, you've got the skills.
Feels forgotten.
Share your skill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. With your neighbors or whatever, yeah.
So, and couldn't be a better time of year, too, right around the holidays.
Yeah, it's all, we love doing it right before Christmas. And the purpose of this shoot that you just showed was just to get our community fired up, to show them what it looks like when the stories are written on the photos. And
yeah,
so
I like that. I like that idea.
I'm excited to
101,596 portraits given, 10,000 plus photographers, 12,000 volunteers, 1,000 locations. And that was 2010.
And keep in mind, that's just in 2 days. I mean, we've only done this twice. Once on December 12th of 2009, and then once on December 3rd of last year. So in 2 days, we've done, you know, we've done 100,000 portraits. It's pretty crazy.
Do you have corporate help on this, or is it just you guys just doing it?
We're still seeking some corporate help. We could certainly use help in the printing category. Last year, we had a few corporate sponsors that I won't mention because it wasn't they didn't help us very much, but we could always use more help.
So if somebody wants to help out, help-portrait.com, and I'm sure photographers should go there too. You can look at the blog, that's where those images are, and then there's a button for start here to show how you can get involved with that. Wow, that's really, was that, you think, inspired by your trips to Haiti?
I'd say partly so. I mean, I had the idea 3 years ago, and I just wanted to do something with my camera. So we did it locally in Nashville. I put the video on Facebook, and I saw all these other photographers respond and say, "Hey, if you ever do this again, I want to be involved." Yeah. And so that was when I knew that this could be a bigger deal, and we had to wait till the next year to launch it globally. And in fact, I launched it on Scott Kelby's blog.
That's great.
To our audience. So
Scott's a good man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So this must be another example of, I heard you quote unquote say, my mind won't let me sleep.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate on that? Do you get ideas everywhere, and how do you know which ones to pursue?
Oh man, what a huge question. Yeah, it's funny. I used to not think of myself as an idea person at all, but the older I get, the more manic I get. And I'm a religious Evernote user, and so I'm always like turned over in my bed at night when I can't sleep, just typing ideas into Evernote. And most of the ideas are really more involving social media, technology, humanitarian efforts, and so. This was certainly one of those ideas that I was writing about in Evernote at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I think it must be a cleansing to you do the celebrity stuff and then you go to Haiti or you do the this help portrait thing and it must just be cleansing and refreshing. And look at this, they wrote on their arms.
Yeah, this is a project that CNN is launching next week. CNN has a new photo blog coming out, and this will go on their blog next week. I shot this a few months ago in Rwanda, and each portrait is of a genocide survivor.
Oh my God!
Standing with the man that killed their families.
Oh
my
no!
goodness.
And these two guys are standing in the exact spot of dirt where he killed his brother.
I don't think I could do that. How did they? I don't understand.
Yeah, the guy on the left is the murderer, and the guy on the right is who lost his brother.
That's a lot of forgiveness. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, and their arms says, the message on their arm says, love is the weapon that destroys evil.
Holy cow.
And so I didn't know what to do with these photos. I didn't want to just put them on my blog or tweet them, so I've just been holding them to myself because they're so powerful. So I'm very thankful that CNN is going to be launching this project next week.
Was this your idea to do this?
Yeah, I spoke last year with a girl who had done a documentary in Rwanda, and I had just presented my Voices of Haiti series. And after I saw that she had worked with some of these people in Africa, I said, hey, can we combine what we're doing? Can I go to Rwanda with you and do a Voices of Reconciliation project where we have people write messages of forgiveness? And 9 months later, we were in Rwanda doing it together.
So I gather that you must be a devout Christian.
Yes, I am a Christian.
I sense a thread through a lot of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, it's, I get so tired of, Christians. We're very much mocked, and Christians are not known for doing anything of quality. And so, it's not about preaching some crazy message. It's just about, okay, what can I do that really does make a difference or help people, or
Talk about a message of forgiveness. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
That's amazing. Wow.
And Jeremy, with all these projects, how are you balancing them? Like, what percentage are you dedicating to the personal projects and nonprofit work versus your regular clientele?
Man, it's always a juggling act. I can tell you, number one, I have no social life. I mean, my social life is social media, but I don't get out much. I've got 2 kids and a wife, and so I'm home all the time. And between, watching a cartoon with my kids and sitting on the couch, I'll run in on my laptop and work on something. I'll stay up all night typing ideas in the Evernote. I mean, I just don't stop.
I think when you're an artist, you're always creating, that's the artist. Tell us about this image.
This is actually one of my favorite images.
There's a story here, I can tell.
Yeah, I traveled with an organization called Passion. We went to 17 countries in 3 months together, and my job was to shoot the events that they were putting on where this guy spoke and a bunch of bands played. But then they also were hiring me to just go document the cities. And so this was in Ukraine. And we were just walking around with a camera, just aimlessly wandering. And I saw these 2 people pass in front of this mural. And I go, oh my gosh, talk about some beautiful contrast. And so we just went over and talked to them and just told them about what I was doing. And it doesn't go too much further than that. I just love art history, and I love that, we had these 2 people standing in front of this beautiful mural, and I just love the contrast there.
What were you using to light that? Was that just natural light?
Yeah, just one strobe, ProPhoto 600 watt Acute B.
Off to the side?
Yeah, off to the side. It's a pack that I keep in my camera bag, fits overhead on an airplane. It's really amazing to have a strobe with me everywhere I go.
do you have any one light tips for us?
I mean, I put in my, y'all asked me my 2 tips, and my second tip
let's go to the tips.
Yeah, let's go. Let's launch right into it.
By the way, there's that picture, full screen. Just amazing. Oh, I'm just going to... Jeremy, you're making me cry. Oh, my God. All right, tip 1.
Tip 1.
Actually, stop.
Okay.
Hammer time. No, stop. Stop. I want to do a quick ad, and then we'll come back and do your tips, and we have some equipment tips
yeah,
too.
some gear to talk about. Too.
I thought this would be a good time to hammer time.
Yes.
Hammer time. So I want to talk a little bit about Netflix.com. We are big fans of Netflix. I noticed that, Jeremy, on your blog, you just watched the Banksy documentary, Exit Through the Gift Shop, right?
Yes, it's an incredible film.
Isn't that an amazing, surprising movie? You watch it and it does not go where you thought it was going to go.
Yeah, it was a shocker. At the end of the film, he said, "I don't know who the joke's on," and I think the joke was on the art world. So everybody needs to check it out. For sure.
If you're a Banksy fan, you got to see it. And guess what? It's on Netflix streaming. See, this is, I tell you, and I have to say that whoops, hello, come back to me. Come back here, Netflix streaming. There we go. We're doing this on a laptop. You can stream a movie on your laptop, of course, on your iPad, iPhone, Android tablet, on almost anything. Your Blu-ray players now and everything. And I like the streaming. First of all, cheap, $7.99 a month, but also discoveries. This is the documentaries. That's where you'll find the Banksy documentary, Exit Through the Gift Shop.
That's actually the most common thread of our guests. They all like documentaries.
I do too. Well, you know, and in some ways a documentary is, you know, it could be cinema verite. There's great photography in it. You learn what people are doing. But there's TV shows on here too. Mad Men. I mean, if you're an artist, you got to love Mad Men. I could just go on and on. The beauty of this is, here's the Jackson Pollock
He just watched
movie.
a documentary called The Art of Flight. If we type that in, I don't know if they have it on there yet.
We'll see. But the point is, go here, Netflix.com/twit, free for 30 days, and take a look at this. The law, though lusted after by many, a small-town beauty only has eyes for a young engineer whose desperate poverty prevents her from marrying him. Gina Lear LaBrigida. Wow. Crazy stuff that you probably don't remember, and stuff that you do. It is all here. In fact, the original Odd Couple, Gangs of New York, what a great movie that was. Tron.
How much time do you spend on Netflix, Leo?
Every night. I go home and I watch streaming. Every night. And I don't know what I'm going to watch. That's the beauty of this. You don't have to know.
You don't have to know.
You don't have to plan ahead. It's for people like me who are impulse watchers. Apparently somebody just watched Funny Girl. It wasn't me. Do not judge me. Netflix.com/twit. All right, let's get your tips, Jeremy Cowart. What was the movie? I'll look it up. That you were gonna.
Oh, The Art of Flight. I'm not sure if it's in there.
Of Flight. It's always risky because you don't.
It is
know.
risky. It's a new one, so it might not be out yet.
It's not on
well,
that.
Great Expectations and Good Will Hunting. I'm
Magic
sure
of
they will
Flight.
be on there.
Yeah.
Those are 2 of his other favorites.
Well, and Exit Through the Gift Shop. Am I saying that right? Is it Exit Through the Gift Shop or the Gift Store?
Yes, that's correct.
There it is. Exit Through the Gift Shop. And you can watch that streaming.
The streaming part's the best part.
Yeah. This is so weird because this guy this guy's taking pictures of graffiti artists and street art. But then he meets Banksy, who basically takes over the movie. It's Shepard Fairey's in it. It's very interesting. You just got to watch it. It's not what you think it is. All right, back to your tips. I'm sorry, Jeremy.
You're okay. No worries.
Leo gets excited about everything.
I am enthusiastic.
He's a very enthusiastic man.
Now, let's see.
All right, so tip number 1 is set white balance for the shade.
Yeah, that was actually something my friend Nick Onken taught me years ago, and I've done it ever since. Anytime I'm outdoors, whether it's cloudy, sunny, overcast, it doesn't matter. I put my white balance on shade because it always makes people look better. I mean, hands down, the skin tones are warmer. The other day I changed, I was borrowing a friend's camera, shooting his daughter at her birthday, and I changed the white balance to shade, and he came over later and he goes, "What'd you do to my camera? The pictures all of a sudden look amazing." And I just said, "Oh, I just put your white balance on shade." So
this is why I love doing this show. That's so simple. I never even thought.
So you do that even if they're in bright sunlight. Like even if it's, let me throw a situation. Sunset and the light's really warm.
Mm-hmm.
You still throw it on shade?
Yeah, if you're in an extremely warm environment, sometimes I will go back to auto. But for the most part, if I'm outdoors, I'm shooting on shade white balance.
Now, of course, you're shooting raw, so you can always change the white balance whenever you want.
Exactly.
But trying to get it closest to what you want in camera.
One advantage is not shooting JPEGs.
Yes, definitely.
But I guess even in Photoshop, you could white balance to the shade, or Lightroom, you could white balance to the shade as you're going.
Yeah, you certainly can, but I'm as purist as I can be. I definitely always want things.
Get it right the first.
Get it right.
Get it right
I feel like the
time.
quality is different too if you get it right. If you get it in camera,
It's not, but
it is in Catherine Hall's world.
I don't think technically it is. But okay, we'll go for it.
We'll go with it, right?
Actually, well, it is because the camera's making a judgment about how to do the white balance, and then the Adobe Camera Raw's,
I think it's possible.
So it could be communicating.
It's possible.
They're communicating. The camera's telling Camera Raw, she wants you to balance for the shade. Oh, and here's an example, by the way.
Yes.
Look at this is a perfect example.
That is a perfect example.
Yeah,
and now, what are you? How are you lighting this? Just out of curiosity.
This was just using a big oil reflector. The sun was coming from the right, and we just had a big white soft diffuser.
I love that. I love reflectors, and I love having that rim light on hair.
You didn't use the gold one. You used a white one.
We used a white one, yeah. Just it's really just a diffuser. It wasn't reflective at all, but that white just kind of fills in the shadows and
gives her a little
nice
eye catch eye.
Yeah.
Do you? What kind of reflectors do you use?
I've got the Westcott, 6-in-1 reflector kit that I typically use a lot. It's really great.
Cool.
Got it.
So.
All right, tip 2. If all you need is this is very ode to Zack Arias. All you need is one light. Go for it.
Zack talked about this a little bit, and he does a workshop on this. Yeah.
Well, on the screen it says there's a reason my friend Zack Arias teaches the One Light workshop. Like I said earlier, I've got a strobe that stays in my backpack. It travels with me no matter where I go, and I can't tell you the number of times that thing has come in handy.
And you use a wireless trigger to set it off?
Yeah, it has a receiver built in, and so I've got my Pocket Wizard on my camera, and the receiver's built in, so I'm good to go.
Is it sometimes just in your hand, or do you actually put it on a
I keep a monopod in my bag too, and I usually will have somebody
holding
like in Haiti and in Africa, I've always got an assistant holding the light on a monopod, and they put the pack in their backpack, so they are literally a walking human strobe. Yeah.
And how far do you like to do 180 degrees off, or 90 degrees off the camera axis? How far over do you put it? How do you like to do that?
It just depends. I'm constantly, constantly telling my assistants higher, 2 feet lower, move 2 feet to the right. It's all about just figuring it out. Right. So
makes sense. Here's an example: a single light shot. Wow.
Yeah. So this is just that one light, the same, and I just use a real small softbox. It's like 12 inches by 24, something like that, real small. And I just use it to give the guy a little pop of light. And then in this one, I went in Photoshop and did some dodging and burning on the barn. But it was pretty dramatic to begin with just the one light.
What percentage of your shots are you using some sort of artificial lighting?
That's a good question. I'd say 60 to 70%, because I do shoot completely ambient a lot. I love to do a shot, get it all lit, get it ready, and then just kill all the lights and shoot the same thing without any lights.
Huh.
So
I have to start using lights more. I very rarely use them. I should.
Yeah, it's fun. You got to play. It's sort of intimidating sometimes, but then you just get out and do it. It's actually a lot of fun.
And I could just I could be my own guy. I could just hold the monopod like that.
There you go.
Over here.
That would be awesome. I've tried it before, but not too successfully.
Tip number 3.
Treat your subject like you would a friend.
Yes, this is something we talked about earlier. I said for most people, getting their photo taken is like going to the dentist. It's very awkward and uncomfortable. They hate it pretty much all the time. So just talk to them, joke around, get to know them. You'll get better images for it.
Yeah. My kids won't let me take their picture. My wife, nobody in my family will let me take their picture. So what do I do with them? Joke around?
And
Dad, go away. Do you take pictures of your family ever?
Oh yeah, I'm always.
And they just gave up, probably.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do? So, for example, you have a celebrity. How do you took Carrie for a walk, but
Obviously,
how do you treat them like a friend? Like, what do you do to break that barrier?
You know, well, one thing that's amazing about social media is that I reach out to whoever I'm shooting beforehand on Twitter. Like, I got to know Kristen through Twitter beforehand, and she was like, "Oh, I can't wait for the shoot," and it makes it so. And we just started talking back and forth. So if they realize that you're talking to them, you're interacting, you're not some weirdo before you even show up. And then another thing I do is when they're doing hair and makeup, I'll go sit in with them while they're, getting. I mean, sometimes these artists are in there for 3 or 4 hours getting hair and makeup. So I'll just go in and hang out,
entertain them, read them jokes from Chuck Norris. Yeah. Now, is it a little bit like romancing them? I mean, you really kind of you're building rapport, aren't you?
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, a lot of times it's kissing butt, telling them how beautiful they are, even when they aren't, or
That's easy with Kristen Chenoweth.
Yeah, she's
just great. I'm just crazy about her. Yeah, and such a good singer. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's crazy talented.
I saw her in Wicked. That's when I fell for her, when she was a witch.
Oh, there you go.
And she's about 4 foot tall too. She's a tiny little thing.
Yeah, she's really tiny.
That's great.
So
you talk about some of his gear. So you talked about your pro photo setup that you carry around. I want to learn more about it. I'm a big pro photo person too.
Oh yeah, good.
You don't carry this around.
That's what I carry around.
That's 10 pounds of battery, baby.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy, but it goes in my bag, and I check it, through airport security, and they always think it's a bomb. Literally every single time they think it's.
Excuse me.
It kind of looks
like a bomb.
Yeah. The X-rays can't see through the actual battery that goes in there.
Right.
And so the battery shows up as this mysterious object, and they always have to...
All right, so any tip on getting it through airport security as seamlessly as possible? Apparently
they have updated the battery that is both lighter and charges faster and lasts a lot longer. So I'm hoping that new battery gets through airport security.
So why do you carry this with you? Is it because your light needs so much power? What do you need this for?
Yeah, I really like to overpower the sun, and 600 watts. 600 watts is just enough for me to get that kind of darkened sky on a bright day.
Got it.
So.
Got it. Yeah, we learned a little bit of that with Rick Salmon. Oh, you have to overpower the ambient light. So if you're outside, the ambient light is Mr. Sun.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's pretty powerful. It requires a lot of poof.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So this thing, I mean, I took it on the Britney tour. I took it on that world tour I was just telling you about. And I mean, 5 years later, it's still just cranking out flashes with consistent light. I just can't.
Yeah, you can beat these things up.
Oh yeah, and then mine is beat up. I mean, it looks like it looks like I've been a construction worker for the last 5 years.
And why do you, I mean, I think I know the answer, but I just want to let our audience in on this. Why do you choose to go with this route, even though it's bulkier and heavier, versus just using a speed light that you can take off camera?
Yeah, I mean, on my last trip to Rwanda that I was just showing you, we had a couple speed lights that were syncing with the Pro Photo, and so we tried that, but I've just always been, I mean, from day one, I've been a strobe guy. I know that guys like David Hobby and Joe McNally are all about using speed lights, and I've just been a pro photo guy from the beginning, and I love this little pack, and it's treated me right, and it's a lot more weight, but still worth it.
So interesting.
But what makes
and this
it
has
worth
the radio
it,
in it, so you don't, so it trips it automatically. Okay, go ahead.
I'm just, what makes it worth it?
I think the power and the ability to put on my softbox and lighting modifiers on it. I can throw a beauty dish when I'm at my house, or on my softboxes that I have out in my backyard. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of photography nerds out there just saying what a dork I am for carrying all that weight around, but I love it.
What is your favorite modifier?
Probably a beauty dish with a grid. It's just a beautiful, soft, the catch light in the eye, the way the light falls away from the subject's face. Typically, it's a lot more moody, and it's called a beauty dish. People feel special when you tell your assistant to get out the beauty dish.
Which light do you use with this?
Well, typically when I'm doing a big shoot, I mean, we go with a rental house and we bring 5 to 10 heads in. It's always pro photo. So I've used pretty much all their lights.
Everything you see here.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're pretty much killing the Pro Photo site, by the way. It's very slow to respond. I think of more than a few people are going, oh,
clicking on there.
I want to get myself a giant heavy battery.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy, I have the D1000 kit, and
cool.
Love it so much.
This show is so bad
it's
for
just so
my
amazing.
budget. You guys are killing
no,
me.
the D1000 has the air system, so it's like
stop it. I don't
idiot-proof,
wanna know.
right? You don't even
that's
need to
what I
have
need.
pocket wizards.
I need an
You
idiot-proof.
Yeah,
I need an idiot-proof.
it's seamless.
I need to try that.
Oh my gosh, they're so fun.
I'm just
they're
going to
so
pretend I
easy to
didn't hear
use.
any of
You
this.
didn't hear any of it. So
Yeah,
your next toy is actually one of my favorite toys as well. I like how I call them toys, right?
Right.
Hey, it's only $2,500.
Very expensive toys for sure.
Tell me about printing, and why do you print your own work, and why do you love Epson?
Well, I'm kind of a kid in a candy store right now. I've gone 12 years being an artist and a photographer and everything without printing. I just got this printer a couple months ago, and I swear I could not be happier. I mean,
cool.
just the ability to print at a large size. I have an online store now where I sell prints, and I tell people that I feel like a grandma baking cookies for her friends, because every time somebody orders a print off my store, I print it myself, I sign it. You know. I do everything myself, and so it's just gorgeous color. It's a lot more personal than sending
That's
it
unusual. I think a lot of people just use a service, so that's neat. You do your own prints.
I print my own work too.
You do too?
And
Wow.
Jeremy, I find that it's actually one of the most rewarding parts of the whole process.
You feel like you're doing something.
Because you actually have a result.
That's so neat.
And you really don't. Those last minute tweaks are so important. You know, if you send it off to a lab, you really don't know exactly what you're going to get back.
Right.
Yeah.
And but I love printing. It's so much fun, and it's so rewarding, and it's instant with the Epson printers. It's like, you know.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I hated sending prints off to labs and getting them back and them not looking the way I wanted. So now I can print, see how it looks, reprint, fix it. You know, it's just so much easier.
Yeah.
So right now in my store, I have mostly illustrations. I'm putting a lot more photos up here soon.
Very cool.
This is very affordable, given that you're doing the work yourself. This is a good deal.
I know. Get them now before they go up.
Jeez. You know, and you can have an 8x10 of Christ on your desk for just $45. Printed by Jeremy Cowart.
Himself.
Himself.
There you go.
How about that, huh?
Yeah, Jeremy, I have the 7900, so it looks like a car. It's like as big as the front of a car in my studio.
Absolutely.
So.
But the inks are great. They really, I think Epson does a really nice job.
Oh, and the papers. They have gorgeous papers. What's your favorite Epson paper
do you
to work
print
with?
on matte, glossy?
Right now, my two favorite papers are the Hot Press Bright and the Exhibition Fiber. The Exhibition Fiber is more of a luster feel, and then the Hot Press Bright is more of the fine art museum quality feel. It's amazing.
This photo just cracks me up.
I know. I think it's great. It's great.
One thing you might click on up there at the top is the iPhone. Is the iPhone section.
Oh, you have an app too, yeah.
Well, no, it's not an app. It's just the pictures I've taken with my iPhone.
What?
Right there on the right.
iPhoneography?
Yeah.
Now, so this is for all the people.
Is this the new one or this is the 4, huh?
This is just the 4.
You shot that with an iPhone? Get out of here. Wow.
Sure
this is for all the people that have said to me, but I don't have a camera.
Holy
right.
Yes,
exactly.
you do.
You know, the new 4S camera is kind of spectacular. I have to admit it.
That's what I keep hearing. I'm dying to get one.
I mean, the 4 is excellent too. I can't. You know, we've been looking at these shots. I had no idea.
They were done from an iPhone. It's interesting too, because Jeremy, how has the iPhone helped your mind stay creative?
Oh my gosh, you've got a whole palette of tools right there in your pocket.
Well, this is an example. This is a Pano, and obviously used one of the Pano apps.
Yes, exactly.
Which app did you use to make that?
I think it's literally just called Pano.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think creativity is a muscle, and so if you exercise it any way you can, and iPhone's a great way of just exercising that muscle.
Yeah, that picture right there of the limo, that's one of those photo booth apps that you're supposed to use to take pictures of you and your friends making goofy faces. But instead, I started using it to take triptychs.
That's one of the things I like about this. I mean, it's not a great camera. It's a pretty good camera, but then you get great software, and you can upload it immediately. So there's this instantaneous. Good. I'm going to do that right now with the same thing with her. I'm going to steal your idea.
There you go. Go for it. Go for it.
Jeremy, such a pleasure. Thank you so much for for being here and sharing your
thank you,
enthusiasm
Jeremy.
and
It was so
inspiration.
great to have you as a guest.
Gosh, thank you guys. It was really my honor. And again, I apologize for the beginning.
No,
No, you're all good.
Glad it worked.
We kept that
edited
part
that
out. You
Don't mention
You keep
it.
bringing light to something that nobody knows about.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Good,
We're really
good.
professional over here.
He's honest. Jeremy Cowart, COWART.com. You can get the prints there. You can find out more. I know you did some Scott Kelby workshops. I presume those are online as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of that stuff.
I'm sure he's a lot more teaching coming up. And then December 10th, helpportrait.com. Or no, .org. Right?
help-portrait.com.
Oh, okay.
And I'm also about to announce a workshop tour in November where I'm going to travel the states and go see people. So
You're going to bring your kids?
man, I wish. They won't be going on this one, but I'll be home with them all of
I
December.
bet they're so cute. What are their ages again?
5 and 4.
Oh, wait. Before we let Jeremy go, I have a random fact. Hey, Jeremy, how did puberty kill your first career?
I was a child backup singer for lots of artists like Willie Nelson, John Denver, Alabama, all kinds of artists. And I did that. I sang backup as a kid for about 10 years. And then when I hit puberty, it all
You
ended.
can't sing like that anymore. So wait a minute. They use kids for backup singers?
Yeah, in
He's from Nashville.
Oh, Nashville.
Yeah, in Nashville, anytime artists would need a kids group to
Country
sing.
road, take me home. They have to have somebody with a voice higher than John Denver.
The funniest thing is I asked him about music choice. He says, I like anything but country.
Right.
Well,
There's the irony.
but it's funny because Sting's voice never changed, so that's why
There
you
you
like
go.
Sting. He didn't have that problem.
All right.
I just bought Sting as a new album. It's like a collection of the best stuff. It's so good. I just bought it. I love Sting too.
That's awesome.
Jeremy, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us. And
Thank you,
next
guys.
week, we're going to have,
It's just going to be me.
well, and Derek.
I'm going to share all of my photography tips.
We've had a lot of requests for just basics in photography for people that are really, really getting started and wanting to learn about aperture, shutter speed, all of that. So Derek's story is going to come in, and Leo,
I
and they're going to
cornered
dork
Derek.
out on it for
I
a whole
cornered
session.
Derek. I said, Derek, you have to come on the show when Catherine's gone so that I can ask all those stupid questions I'm too embarrassed to ask when she's here.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
It's going to be a lot of fun, so I hope you'll join us. And then you're going to have a great time.
Yeah, I'm going to be in New York. For anyone that's going to be at Photo Plus, I have a seminar on Friday at 3:45. So
That's
come by.
PDN Photo Plus.
yeah, and at the Javits. in New York.
Is it? I've never heard of this one. It's a for photographers for.
Yeah, Photo Plus is like the big East Coast photo convention.
Wow. October 27th to 29th.
PDN hosts it.
Look at
So
that.
it
That
should be
looks
a great
great.
time. There's tons of great activities going on, and
Rick's going to be there. You're going to be
Should gonna be
there.
there. A
Chase
lot of
Jarvis
our-
is going to be there.
a ton of our guests are
All
gonna
the
be
people
there,
we
so.
know.
I looked to see if you're going to be there, Jeremy, but disappointed to see you aren't. Maybe next year.
I know. I'm dying to. I've been to that event a few times, and it's probably my favorite event. So hopefully I'll be there next time.
And
Yeah.
Catherine,
Any excuse to go to New York.
you'll be lining up
right.
more people for the show probably while you're there. You'll be going around.
Yeah, I
saying,
will. I'll be working
"I wanna
for the
get you on
show.
Jeremy, thank you so much.
Bye,
Thank you,
Jeremy.
guys.
Thank
Great
you.
to meet you. Thank you all for being here. We do this show every Tuesday right after Mac Break Weekly, about 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern. That's 20:30 UTC. So please stop by and watch us live. But if you don't worry. You can get it at twit.tv. All of our shows. Look, if you haven't seen them all, go back because these, unlike a lot of the shows, these never date. These are always
relevant. Yeah.
golden and useful, and I've learned so much. In fact, going back through them, it's a really useful resource.
I watch them. I watch them a lot.
inspiring.
I learn a lot. I take notes.
I just find it inspiring because I
yeah.
see these people who are doing their art, and it just makes
So
me want to
great.
get out there and take more pictures. So.
Yeah, and then I'm super excited. Entries
Guest
for
quests.
the guest quests. I can't wait to see everyone's stuff. And our judges are all past TWiT photo
Really?
judges. Yeah.
So it's like a very serious.
yeah.
You know,
We have 6 guests
Wow.
on our panel.
So go to CatherineHall.net and the blog right there in the very first entry today. Anyway, I'm sure you'll update it and put more stuff up there. It talks about the TWiT guest quest and how you can get involved.
Yeah.
Rules are there and everything else. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next week on TWiT Photo.
You guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.